Hello to all my wonderful students, subscribers, and disciples. This is your Master GongSun. As promised, I will now be showing you some typical foods I might eat during the day. And keep in mind that I am no longer on keto, but still doing low carbs, which means less than 50 grams of carbs per day. All right, so here's what I would have. I would wake up and maybe have some sort of, let me show you here. Maybe, I would have an egg for sure, some sort of like hard-boiled egg or scrambled egg with some cheese, and then I would have, and this is not a snack because I don't snack anymore, but I would actually have this as a meal. So, for example, this is a product from Thailand because I love Thai products and Thai food, and this is an oyster mushroom that is coated with salted egg flavor, which is a typical Asian flavor. And if you look at the ingredients, yeah, it's mostly mushrooms, yeah, but there are other ingredients such as like flour here, right? So there are some carbs, right? So our diets are different. I mean, we eat, even for the same person, you would eat differently according to which stage of life you're in. For example, me, I've already lost weight. I'm at my target weight right now, so that's why I'm okay with having some carbs. And if you look at this here, it only says carbohydrates, not too much, 22 mg. So that's not so bad. So I might have this, and there's plenty of time for me to burn it off too, because I would eat this as my first meal. So this would be like a side dish, and then my main dish would be like eggs and like cheese. And of course, you know, all organic, no preservatives and all that. And I might have something like this as well. This is a Thai product as well. This is seaweed, but tomato flavored. I love tomato flavored anything actually. It really adds that kick. It has that really nice tomatoey kick, right? And of course, this is mostly keto. And then if I'm still hungry, I might have something like this. This is also keto, right? Have you noticed no carbs so far, or very low carbs rather? This is sardines. And sure, there are some carbs here. There's tapioca starch, 1%. There's some seasoning, right? But this is perfectly okay for me because I am no longer on the keto diet, just on low carb diet. And this is a lot of protein. How much protein is there? At least 9 grams per 4 servings. So that's a pretty good ratio, I would say. And then if I'm still feeling hungry, I might have like a protein snack like this, right? Mixed nuts, right? Here you have your almonds, cashews, macadamia nuts, and peanuts, right? Of course, the healthiest is macadamia nuts. Some of the health influencers I subscribe to recommend mostly macadamia nuts, but they are pretty expensive. But that's okay, right? Anyway, but that's not it. Oh, and also a beverage, right? I might have something like this. For example, a can of 100% tomato juice, no sugar added. Right, super healthy stuff. And that's meal 1. And meal 2 might include a beverage like this, for example, mixed berry juice. Right, so juices and fruits, they do contain sugar, of course, but I'm okay with some sugar as long as it's low sugar, as long as it's no sugar added. Right, so this is only 40%, so this is not entirely juice. There's also a lot of water in it, and even some sugar, which I'm okay with because I no longer do keto. And now, just as importantly, so I would only eat 2 meals a day, by the way, and then that's it. But just as importantly, uh, we also have to take our supplements. So I like to have apple cider vinegar because that would allow us to control our blood sugar, especially after a carb-heavy meal. But I always found apple cider vinegar to be too, what's the word, acidic, sour. And I would need to put like a copious amount of sugar in it, or rather honey. I put honey to sweeten it up. Right? Honey is the only healthy sugar out there, and it's really the only kind I allow myself to have because it's full of antibacterial properties, just wonderful. So I would get something like this, for example. Right? there's a supermarket here in Thailand. So I'm currently in Thailand right now, and it's called the Big C. And this, believe it or not, is only 32 baht, or less than $1, 95 cents USD for this. So that's a pretty good deal for a 130-gram container of sugar. I mean, sorry, honey. There is some sugar in it, but honey is, at least it has all those, macro, no, what do you call it? Micronutrients, rather. Anyway, so back to apple cider vinegar. So, because I don't actually like how acidic apple cider vinegar is, I decided to buy coconut cider vinegar instead. So, do you see here? It says no artificial colorant and odor and no preservative. And I find this to go down much better than apple cider vinegar. So I just do the same thing. I use my tiny cup. I add in like a couple tablespoons, mix it with my honey, and bam, there we go. Super healthy cider vinegar. Here it has all the fermentation and, of course, all the wonderful nutrients you would expect that fermented foods, such as, or fermented beverages in this case, would have, right? And I would have this after dinner. And for dinner, I might have something like more eggs and cheese, and then, and then it's usually some like a meat protein, like a steak or chicken, pork steak or something, with a side dish of kimchi. I love fermented vegetables, so they're super good for your gut health. So I would have like either that or sauerkraut. They're both excellent. And if I don't feel like mixing my coconut cider vinegar with honey, I might just take a supplement like this. This is apple cider vinegar supplement. It's much easier to take a gummy than it is to constantly be mixing liquids together. But this is just for when I'm feeling lazy. And also, I have at least a cup of green tea a day, but I don't drink it right before bed because I'm very susceptible to caffeine. So I wouldn't be able to sleep well. So I would only have this the minute I wake up. This will be my caffeine hit. A lot of people like coffee. I never did. So I like green tea instead, full of antioxidants, nutrients, phytonutrients, all those wonderful, wonderful micronutrients that are supposed to be anti-carcinogenic, or in other words, they help prevent cancer. And last but not least, I have a lot of ginger tea, specifically ginger turmeric tea. So this is from Cambodia, a country that produces excellent ginger turmeric tea. I usually have a glass a day to be used as a digestive after dinner. And this is not only good for digestion, but also it helps to keep blood sugar down and to prevent cancer and all sorts of wonderful beneficial health effects. Now, although I personally don't have a problem with blood sugar, I did a pre-diabetes screening, and I was told that I was fine. I wasn't even pre-diabetic. But it's good to always try to prevent any sort of disease, especially because diabetes, although it is not a hereditary disease, it does run in my family. My aunt has it, and my grandfather, God bless his heart, died of a fall as a result of complications from diabetes. His legs were swollen at the time due to diabetes. So I'm very careful about that. And to wrap things up, I want to talk a bit about Taoism and how in ancient Taoist texts, and accordingly in ancient China, there is a saying called bi gu. It literally means, bi means to avoid, and gu is grain, right? So we want to avoid grains because, well, not only will it, well, not all the time, but it could lead to the development of diabetes if you overeat grains. But some people don't digest grains very well, such as myself, which is kind of ironic because as an Asian man, I grew up on rice. And every time I would eat rice, I would feel bloated. My stomach would bloat, and I would always complain But over time, I accepted it because I thought, well, if we have to eat rice every meal, especially for dinner, then I suppose I will be bloated. I accepted the bloating as a consequence of eating. But ever since I stopped eating grains, I feel great. There's no bloating, there's no discomfort as a result of bloating, and I just feel great. So the ancients really have it down pat, don't they? The ancients knew exactly what they were talking about, right? This whole low carb diet, this is not new. It's not a new age thing. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors knew about this already. They knew to avoid grains. They knew about bigu already. But I'm glad we're all waking up. It's time for us to wake up because the world has really been very messy and restless. And it's time for us to return to our roots because we think we're inventing new things, and we are. Physically, like I suppose the computer did not exist 100 years ago, but the wisdom of the ancients, especially when it comes to dietary advice, that is not new. That has always been the case. We have always known that going low carb is the way to go. Anyway, I welcome you all to continue on this journey with me, and thank you for tuning in. I hope that some of my dietary advice has been very helpful for you. Please feel free to ask and comment below if you have any questions. And if you're interested, I could perhaps tailor a diet for you. I myself am trained in traditional Chinese medicine, so I know what to eat and what not to. All right. For more information, please see the links in the comments, or rather the description below, and please shoot me an email or a comment. This has been your Master GongSun, thank you very much for tuning in. As usual, keep living and eating in alignment with the Tao.